So I think what I'm here to share is that, listen, you got to listen to your intuition. Number one, don't trust people that easily. Especially, you don't know who's trying to groom you because they fundamentally feel inadequate. They fundamentally believe that they don't have a skill. They are inadequate, so they just need to latch on. Especially, they like to latch on to young people. These two were Gen Xers. They like to latch on to young people. They like to steal young people's ideas. Number one, that's it. So protect your IP and trust your intuition. Number two, don't trust people that easily. Number two, listen to your intuition. When somebody from the outside gives you advice, I'm not saying you should take everybody's advice, but one person, okay, two people, okay, three people. No. I had to have four people. I had to have God himself go, dream. Person's gonna bite you in the face. The person showed up as a shark biting me in the face. I said, okay, no. The ancestors have spoken. You gotta go, right? So for me, it took four people. Even God himself had to come down and show me in a dream. And number three, you've got to learn how to forgive so that you can trust yourself again, and you can trust people again. I just spent a weekend with my friend this past weekend in Los Angeles, and he was saying to me, there comes a time where you've got to forgive and move on. Because if you don't forgive and move on, you don't know what other opportunities you're closing yourself off to. It's like, but I'm Asian and I'm your brother and I love you and I've never screwed you and I've never tried to screw you over. So it's not that everybody's trying to screw you over, but you just need to learn to, number one, don't trust everybody so quickly. Number two, trust your intuition, right? Number three, forgiveness is my thing. I love forgiveness. Nelson Mandela taught us as South Africans to forgive. Number three for me is always forgiveness. I always go back to forgiveness and say, what is it in me that attracted this person into my life? So I needed to learn how to forgive myself for that experience, and I needed to learn to forgive those people, because those people, they learned that crookery and that dysfunction from their mothers, and their mothers learned that crookery and this dysfunction from their mothers. So it's a generation of crookedness, and because they are not aware and conscious of this crookedness that runs in the DNA and the blood of their soul, they pass it on to their children. So I mean, can I really blame them? Yeah, so, but it's a lineage of this dysfunction, right? It's a total lineage of this dysfunction. They're passing on that dysfunction to their children. So, forgiveness and praying for the children that come after them and their children's children, so that they don't become a burden onto this world and keep passing on the dysfunction. So I think too, as light workers and people who are spiritual, sometimes we get caught up in these worlds of dysfunction and narcissism. I think our job is to forgive and recognize that it's a lineage of dysfunction. And when you get caught up in that dysfunction, it's time for you to pray. Pray for the children's children of that generation, because in Africa we always say, if you take a tomato seed and you plant it into the ground, you will always reap a tomato. So those people's parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents planted, and their children and their children's children are just carrying on this lineage of sociopathic, narcissistic tendencies. And for me, okay, God was asking me probably to pray for that cycle to end, so they no longer hurt other people. Because we really are praying for the next generation of leaders. We really are praying for the future generation of leaders. So we're not living in a society of manipulation, a society of stealing and leeching and sociopathic dysfunction. Right? Because we can't really build a business world like that. We build a business world where we all acknowledge our gifts. I am good at this, you are good at this. Let's see if we can co-create something that's beautiful without trying to steal from each other, without trying to betray each other, without trying to manipulate each other. And I don't know. I think I've healed. If you had asked me 9 months ago, would I be praying for these nice people? I would say no, lock them up. But I think there was a higher level of healing that went through me where I realized, they only know that. They know dysfunction. They know predatory being. They are like predators on this planet. They are just low vibrational entities. They're being run by entities. They are hooked into annihilation, rape consciousness, vibration, and that's where they live. My job as a woman of prayer is to pray for their liberation, is to pray for them to awaken, to see that there is more than enough for everyone on this planet, and we don't need to steal from each other to be successful, to be on this planet creating business. But the whole point of this Fyre Festival was, as millennials, we need to be aware. We really need to be aware. We need to be centered in who we are and ourselves, because if we're not, we get taken for a ride. And then we stop trusting ourselves, we stop trusting our intuition, we stop trusting our God voice. Because you are going to meet people who are dysfunctional in business. Their parents never loved them. They are so tapped out of God consciousness. They are so tapped into greed consciousness and inadequacy and feelings of, I'm not enough. I don't know. It's time for us to heal. It's time for us to heal from theft consciousness, rape consciousness, deception consciousness, manipulation consciousness. It's so rampant in our culture and in our society. I don't know, it's time for us to heal from that stuff. Honestly, it's time for us to heal. But I'm going to leave you with that message. I'm so grateful for prayer. I'm so grateful for meditation. I'm so grateful for forgiveness work. I'm so grateful for my crystals. Now we're break crystal. I wear a crystal on my neck. Now I'm like, oh, ward off the negative energy. Ward that off. As Jesus said, they know, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. As an African woman, a Zulu woman, I say, forgive them, universe, for they know not what they plant for the future generations and their children's 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 children. So let's live in an energy of forgiveness. Let's live in an energy of, they don't know what they do. If they knew what they were doing, if they knew how it would impact their children's children's children, they wouldn't be doing it. So universe, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So for all of the people that were affected by Fyre Festival, you gotta do some forgiveness work. Number 2, you gotta stop trusting people just that easily. Number 3, you gotta listen to your intuition. If your intuition is going, that person's not good, and your mother be saying, not good. Your sisters be saying, not good. Your best friend be saying, oh, child, not good. And then God needs to come from heaven and show you a dream. Well, then, so really, I think as young people, forgive. They know not what they do. These people know not what they do. It's time for us to start tuning in, listening to our intuition. If it's like a no, or if it's like, best friend, run for your life. It's the devil. Be hooked to energies and entities you do not want to be. You do not want to be engaged with. So trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay, peace out. I'm out. I had to share this message. I just had to tell my story. I had to share this message. Peace out. Trust yourself, love yourself, and listen to that still small voice. It will never lead you astray. Bye for now.